Hey Simon, good to see you, mate.
How's it going, man? How are we?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Well, I was really keen to have a chat with you, mate. After Jen sent me a message from you, forwarded me a message about a week ago, just sort of saying where you've been, where you're at now, and yeah, just wanted to have a conversation, mate, to hear the story, really.
Yeah. So obviously I signed up for the course in December, which ran through till around about March, although I was off on tour for 2.5 weeks in February.
That was it.
So
You
yeah,
play in a band?
yeah, man, yeah, I'm a drummer in a band, a couple of bands
Okay,
actually,
cool.
but yeah, went off
Oh,
on
nice.
tour. I was hammering the course up until that stage. Um, and I had an interview the week before I was leaving. So I had an interview on the Monday, and then I was leaving on the Wednesday. I was expecting to hear something back by the Friday, and so I was studying for like the first week on tour until my brain
Yeah.
just couldn't take it anymore because I was hoping for that
Yeah.
second call and the second interview potentially whilst I
Hmm.
was on the road from like a service station. But that never happened. And then
Was
when I
that in
came back,
March, did you say?
so that was February. I came back at the
Oh,
end of
so
February.
yeah.
And yeah, upon coming home, my brain was just completely fried. Trying to get back into family life and work
Yeah.
life.
I
I
imagine,
really
mate.
just, I was struggling mentally. The adrenaline drop from being on tour for 2.5 weeks was
Mm,
pretty big. And I
yeah.
just couldn't really focus on anything. So I didn't go back to studying straight away. I took a couple of weeks off. And
Yeah.
then I received a call from the company stating that the reason why they didn't call me back for the second interview was because there was a discrepancy with the amount of travel. So I'm based in Swansea, and the job position was for Bristol. Um,
What
and
was the
funny enough,
role?
like it was for a mobile BMS service engineer, but the
Oh, okay.
travel
Yeah.
was a little bit too much. And so they said like they were really happy with the first interview and the positions become available for Wales, and they wanted me to go ahead and have that second interview for that position.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny how it all came about actually, because there aren't many positions available around Wales, and I was
Mhm.
applying for loads and I just wasn't getting anywhere. And like one thing which you've always tried to drill into us was like you should just be applying for places anywhere and everywhere. It doesn't matter if they're nearby or not. And so when I
Yeah.
saw that position on LinkedIn, it was like probably the furthest distance out of like all of them that I was seeing that I would be willing to travel to. And I thought, I'm just going to take a chance on this. And
Hmm.
ultimately, it's landed me a position closer to home, even.
That's it. It's like, what's the worst that could happen? And a lot of these are just recruiters that are recruiting for people all over the place. If they've got you on their system, it
Mm.
might be that another position comes up nearer to you, but they've got you on their system, top of the list. If
Yeah.
you're
Well,
in regular comms with them as well, you're like top of mind.
yeah, for sure. And this wasn't actually through a recruiter. It was direct with the company.
Oh, okay.
Whereas, like all of the other positions that I've applied for, and I've had many discussions with a recruiter, it just so happens that this one was actually direct with the company. And I was on the database for
Okay.
like probably the end of January, I think I applied for that role, and then got the verbal offer then uh, sort of end of April or
Oh, that's
middle of
amazing,
April.
mate.
So,
And so I was just reviewing like your details on our end. So you were electrical maintenance.
yeah, yeah. I've been in facilities maintenance now for 15 years this September. Although I've done multiple things across that field, I've pretty much done everything there is to do in facilities maintenance. And so
What's
for like
involved
the
in that?
last, uh, well, I've worked on M&S and I'm currently on the Morrison's contract. I went in as a lighting engineer, so I was responsible for the lighting all across the M&S estate in South Wales.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
I went into a store maintenance engineer, which was kind of like a little bit of everything. But that's when I first got exposed to like HVAC equipment, where I was responsible for
Right.
the preventative maintenance on like air handling units, splits, overdoor
Hmm.
heaters, and that sort of thing, as well as stuff like changing door handles, toilet seats,
Yeah.
sockets, a bit of everything. And then most recently, then for like the last sort of 5-6 years, I've been basically maintaining and repairing like critical food equipment across the estate,
Okay.
which is more hands-on now with Morrison's because it's more, well, they've got like an on-site bakery, so it's maintaining that critical equipment, and then preventative maintenance as well. And on top of that,
So are you like electrician by trade then?
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
my first
Okay.
5 years was in domestic, and I had a
Mm.
great trade with my old man. Unfortunately, he decided to retire early, and it just so happens like the week that he decided to retire, I was offered a job for M&S to go in as a lighting tech. So I went straight into facilities maintenance,
Okay.
and it's been detrimental, I would have said, to my trade because it's a little bit of everything, and like changing lamps and ballasts. It's not really, it doesn't get your mind going. It's very simple, easy
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And over the course of 15 years, I just felt like my skill was just diminishing.
Mm.
And like it pays really well, and I've done really well out of it, and it's secure. But ultimately, I've not been feeling fulfilled, or like
Yeah.
the juices are flowing for a long, long time. And that's when I
Yeah.
decided like I can't do another 30 years like this. I've got to do something that has progression, and that I'm able to kind of push myself day in, day out.
Yeah. Okay. And so that was specifically in BMS then, was that like the goal before joining us to
Not
actually get
initially, no.
okay.
So I mean, we work with other trades as well. So we have a refrigeration department and a HVAC department, and those two were kind of piquing my interest. BMS wasn't on the radar at all at that point, and that was a couple of years ago. But then I was kind of looking at what it would take to go into that, and it was pretty much both of them would require me going back to college, probably starting off as an apprentice, and being a
For
family man.
BMS.
No, for refrigeration and HVAC.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Those were the
Okay.
two that I
Yeah.
was looking at. But going back to college, having a reduced wage, and then like being a family man and being the main income of
Mm.
the house, it just wasn't feasible. And I was kind
Yeah.
of pushing the company to put me on these courses, which they weren't happy to do because they just wanted me to stay in the position that I was in. That kind
Yeah.
of rubbed me up the wrong
Stay in
way a
your
little
lane.
bit. Yeah, and I thought, well, if that's kind of your attitude, and I've been saying that I want to progress now for a couple of years,
Mm.
I'm just going to go and pay for it myself, and then I'm not going to be tied to the company when opportunities
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
So, you know, middle finger up with them
So
now, I suppose.
mate, I hear it all the time, and then, like I experienced it as well. And it was like it took probably 2 years of that happening at different companies before I realised, oh, they're all the same. They just want you to stay in your lane. They don't want you to progress because it's a headache for them to find a new role and then fill the role that you're in. They just dangle the carrot. Not. And this is a bit of a sweeping statement. It's not. I'm sure not every employer is like that, but the vast majority, in my experience, do that, and the vast majority of people that I spoke to, it's the same thing. So it's just like,
Mm,
yeah, well, how do I get out of this? And you just got to take the responsibility
yeah.
yourself at the end
Well,
of the day.
I mean, they're crying out for HVAC techs and refrigeration techs. And like, had they been willing to train me up, I'd have stayed in the company.
Yeah,
But, I
it's
mean, ultimately
short-sighted,
it's,
isn't it, by the
yeah, yeah,
company?
yeah, and especially with 15 years service, like granted, not all of that has been with City because I've two-peated twice. But still, I'm loyal, and
Yeah.
they failed to see that. And then that's kind of when I started digging on the internet, and I found your videos, and then BMS kind of came onto the radar. And I would have said that was probably about a year and a half ago. And then I was kind of looking at PLC training and whether or not that would be an option. But then I saw you discuss like if you're just going in with PLC training, that's only a part of the puzzle. And then I started looking at other courses, and I was looking at the BCI courses or BCIA
Mm,
courses, but ultimately
mm,
felt that they would be better once you're in a position, and that is your day
mm.
to day. And that's when I kind of opted to go with B automation then, because I felt like it was a better overall foundation to help me progress into that. Well, what's ultimately become a junior role.
Right. Okay. That's good to know, mate. And
Mm,
what what so had you decided at that point that you specifically wanted to get into BMS? Like you
yes.
got to
Yeah. Yeah.
understand what
Yeah.
specifically about BMS like is grabbing you and pulling you in.
Uh, well, I think. I mean, I'd seen some BMS engineers on site, and I always got the impression like like those guys kind of really know what they're talking about. They're walking around with schematics in their hand, and they looked the shit. And I thought, like, they pretty much know everything there is to know about the building and how it all operates. I was like that's kind of the level of understanding that I would like to get to. But ultimately, I figured, like, with regards to my electrical apprenticeship, it was like there was crossover, and more so
Yeah.
than with refrigeration and HVAC, because obviously you need the gas and you need to keep all of those tickets going over time. I felt like this was kind of the route that I could probably best slip into with my base knowledge, and then kind of, yeah, just kind of the interest has, progressed from there, really.
So, I mean, this is a great starting point as well. In as a service engineer, in the field,
Mm.
service maintenance, PPMs, fault finding. What's, what's the plan after that? Have you got a plan?
Well,
What's the goal?
I mean, I've been frustrated that I've pretty much hit the ceiling in my current employment. And I know now that I'm going into a junior role. Well, it's not labeled as a junior role, but I know what the job was listed as and what they've offered me. It's clear that they're hiring me as a junior, but that wage is still more than I'm on now in terms of my basic, excluding overtime. And I'm going in at the bottom of the ladder, and I know that
Yeah,
I can progress with, financially, and also as a service engineer, with the ultimate goal then of becoming a commissioning engineer, and then just
commissioning, right.
see where it goes. Then, yeah, there's contract work out there, and I know those guys are earning a mint.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'd be
What have
lying
you
to you if I
seen?
said that. Well, I
Sorry.
had a lady phone me about 2 weeks ago, and she was saying, like, you know, she asked me what my wage was, or wage was going to be, and she's like, "You can do 3, 4 times of that with contracting work." So,
What
it's
day rate
clear that they're like,
wise?
yeah, they're going to be like 350, £400 a day.
Yeah.
And that's, everyone is going to have money on their mind, isn't it? Because it's like the
Mm.
quality of life that we have. So, whereas, obviously my interest is in this field and is something I want to get really good at, obviously the well-being of me and my family is also at the forefront of my mind, and the quality of
Sure.
our life. So, ideally that's kind of where I would like to be, particularly in the last sort of 10, 15 years of my working career.
What does that look like then for you personally? Like in
Well,
terms of like business, career, what you're doing day to day?
well, I'd imagine that there aren't many like self-employed BMS companies in Swansea.
Hmm.
So potentially going down that route, and like then doing contracting, whether or not I go into like the smart home installations as well then.
Okay.
But it's really difficult to say at this stage, because it's all very daunting, and I've already got a taste of what's ahead of me, and I just want to take it a little bit at a time. But ideally, I just want to get as well versed in everything, from the service
Yeah.
engineer role up to a commissioning engineer role, and just do the best that I can in that, and just see where it takes me.
Fair dues, mate. What do you know what systems this business use? Like the control systems?
Yeah, so I think it's predominantly Trend, although they
Hmm.
have sent me some modules on the Honeywell University for like the
Oh yeah.
Tritium as well. So
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm just going to start on the Trend stuff and then see where it goes. But the job is looking after critical sites across South Wales. So it's going to be like hospitals, government
Yeah.
buildings, courts, schools, universities, that sort of thing. So I feel like I'm very much jumping into the deep end. And even more so because I think I'm going to be on my own in South Wales, because the other guy that was there handed in his notice about 3 weeks ago. So that's
Oh
really
right.
daunting in itself as well. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. I'm trying not to get overwhelmed by it all. Yeah, just see where it goes.
Like it's probably like the first 6 months probably will be a little bit
Mm.
stressful, but like how
Yeah.
I've like because it's new, and like if you are on your own, you're not shadowing anyone. Like, but the great thing is if you look at it from the perspective of, oh, this is forcing me
Oh
to
yeah.
to learn my stuff quickly. and you just immerse yourself in it. Like spare time that
Hmm.
you have, it's like digging into tech manuals, understanding this, that, and the other, reaching out to people, and like I mean, it never really ends, but like that first six
Yeah,
months, that'll be such a steep learning curve. And if
for
you're
sure.
on your own, you're forced to do it, like you will travel up that learning curve even quicker.
Hmm.
So, you're pulling the future forward by, if because that's exactly what happened to Mo, one of the first guys that we worked with, who went from electrician to BMS
Yeah.
service engineer. And like, mate, within a year, like same journey that you're going on and like similar background to you, within a year, he's now like a self-employed commissioning engineer, earning
Mm.
I think he was 350, 390 a day on a 6 month rolling contract commissioning
Yeah.
because
Mm.
he was just an absolute sponge, got out of his comfort zone, was continually wanting to learn more and progress. And like all this is the funny thing, like all of his other colleagues in this business doing service, they're like, oh no, it takes like 5, 6 years to go from service to commissioning. Well, it doesn't. Like, it depends on
Mm.
you as the individual, like how quickly you want to progress, how willing you are to get out of your comfort zone. And it just shows, like, if you want to move quickly, get to that stage that you mentioned, like sooner, like you absolutely can. It's just a little bit uncomfortable for a while.
Yeah. Well, you've got to be willing to put in the time outside of work. But like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
best thing about this now is like I've been doing that for so long. Now I get to learn in work as well. So like there's a
Mm.
big chunk of,
Mm.
9, 10 hours a day at this moment in time where I can't study. But now I'm going to be able to use that as learning time as well. So it's just a case of being a sponge and just trying to absorb all that. Like my only concern really is that there's so much to learn, like how much of it is sticking. And I've noticed that in preparation for the interview as well. Like I've tried to cover so much, but how much is actually going in? Like you can only retain so much information at a time. So it's kind of structuring it that way as well. So like you're not going to experience the burnout and you are actually learning the things which you put in time into trying to learn.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, that the important things, well, I'll tell you what would be really interesting actually. Like, what did they actually ask you in the interview? Like the first and the second one, like how are they different?
Honestly, it wasn't that technical.
Was
Um,
it not?
I was I was surprised. I had prepared for so much more, and I was a
You want
little
to
bit
tell them everything you know, and they don't
yeah.
ask
I
you.
was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get asked much of the things that I had been studying for. But in hindsight, I'm also somewhat glad because I could have potentially really fucked that up. I could have just had a complete mental block and just made it so
Yeah.
much worse. So I kind of it is what it is. So in the first interview, it was just basically like touching base, and they asked me like how a general heating loop works, and what kind of things I'd look out for if it wasn't operating, or how I think it was how would you approach a building if it was too cold, I think was the question. And then in the second interview, then um, they asked they were asking about my experience with air handling units, and then they asked me to list all of the components within an air handling unit. Um, my mind's gone blank, but I don't think there was much more
Mm.
than that. It was really basic, and I was quite surprised by it, but I wasn't going to argue.
No,
Uh,
mate.
yeah, there was something else, but it's escaping me at this moment. Yeah,
Just going back to Mo, no, sorry, not Mo, Callum. Like he was absolutely grilled by the tech because I think it was a technical director that was stepping in for someone who
yeah,
was
I
a bit
think
of
I'd
a
listened to
dick.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on one of
yeah,
the
yeah,
clips. Yeah, yeah, I'd listened
yeah.
to that, and I was so grateful of those clips as well because for the first time I was getting a glimpse into what that interview was going to be like. Like I've been in the same
Mm,
position now for 15 years. Like I haven't experienced an interview in a long, long time.
yeah, mm,
So it was good to get a glimpse of that, and then also like reframe my way of approaching it,
yeah.
and that was very helpful. Um, but yeah,
Like
all of that
in
work that I put in and didn't amount to anything. Well, other than the position, I didn't get the chance to, display the things that I'd learned.
Well, it might have been, and I obviously wasn't there, but it might have been where, you're, of course, there's going to be like nerves and stuff, but it might be like just the way that you conducted yourself in answering those questions,
Mm,
that confidence, sometimes
yeah,
that's enough.
yeah. I think I think it came down to because obviously they asked me about my current employment and kind of what my job entails. So there's that, the level of service, which I think is going to be appealing because it shows that I'm committed to staying with the company if I get sort of the right support.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, it came down to the fact that I self-funded progression and
Yeah.
I put in the
Yeah.
time as well.
Did you say that
Because
to them?
yeah, yeah, I did, yeah. And I think they want somebody who's willing to invest in themselves and somebody that they can mold over time, and somebody that they can invest in and know that it's going to pay off in the long run. So they're not expecting you to go in there knowing everything. Um, But if they can get somebody on the lower end of the wage and build me up over time to become, a top BMS engineer, a BMS service engineer for them, then that's a great payoff in their investment, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what they're looking for more than somebody who just, can throw a load of technical jargon about.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing, Simon, isn't it? It's like, yeah, the technical is one thing, and you need to have like somewhat of an understanding, or at least
Mm,
be able to show that you can learn. But like
hmm
such a bigger part of it is all these softer skills and like attitude and who you are as an individual, which I think people get so focused and hung up on, when they see a job description, oh, you need this technical thing, you need this amount of time served experience
hmm
in this position. When it's like, look, that's not always the case. Like, that's a
mm,
way to filter out a lot of people. But, like, if you know that
yeah,
you could deliver in that role, you're 70% of the way there, you know yourself as an individual that you're,
hmm
committed, responsible, like right attitude, like you should just go for it anyway and get the chance to actually have a conversation to actually show that other the softer skills side of
yeah,
yourself. And this
that's
is
it.
what I
Yeah.
say to people, but I think people get so hung up on the technical stuff that they see within the job description. They don't put any value
Well,
towards them as an individual.
yeah. And like, I would say to people, go back and look at your current job description because I can guarantee it sounds nothing like what you're actually doing day to day. And I found that really
Yeah,
helpful as well because when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't do any of that. Like, what the fuck does all that mean? Like,
yeah,
it's literally not my day job. So then I kind of took that mentality then into the other ones as well because, as you say, a lot of what they list in, it's all just kind of make the job look good. It's not
yeah.
necessarily everything that you're going to be doing day to day.
They're trying to sell it to you, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're trying to sell it to you, and they're also just trying to filter out people that aren't relevant at all.
hmm
And I think that, yeah, I know what you mean. Like you touched on some of those in like the interview clips. Was there anything specifically within the training that kind of stood out to you that really helped in this process?
Yeah. So, like, obviously, I really enjoyed going through the first kind of two or three modules, and like learning with the schematics was very helpful, and that's something that I need to kind of go further into now as I progress into this role, because I still like feel like that's probably a weak point coming from my current position is that I haven't had a chance to spend enough time with schematics. But certainly the career specialist and that side of things, understanding how to present yourself and understanding how to, the mindset which you need to adopt to go into the actual interviews and that process, and all of the additional questions that you've got listed there. Like those are things that I didn't think about at all until I hit that module. So I found a
Mm.
lot of benefit in kind of switching up my mindset and you know going through those questions and then in finding out the answers, I'd be like, oh, okay, so I don't know what that is. So then I'd search that and then I'd
Yeah,
kind of go, it kind of branches off and I'd be going down rabbit holes and rabbit holes. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
ended up with like 84 pages of A4, which I just written all out just from like trying to, understand one thing and then coming across something that I didn't understand and then checking that out and going on and on. So like I found the career specialist very helpful in that sense. But I enjoyed it all. I mean, it was all great.
And this is the thing, mate. It's like there's just that curiosity. Like you come across
Mm,
something, what is that? Like there's
yeah,
something that I'm not familiar with. Then it's like,
yeah, and there's a
okay,
lot of it.
there is a lot of it, but that's what's
Mm,
so like if you enjoy learning, if you get bored quickly, if you've,
hmm
you're in a band, like you got that creative side of you, like
mm,
it's just because I know, mate, I've been in the same position where I was a service engineer, like in an industry that I wasn't interested in at all, and you just get bored so quickly. But with this,
mm,
there's always something because you just learn everything. That's the thing. But with this, there's just
mm,
so many things to learn and rabbit holes to go down. And like, if you're a
yeah,
curious person, you want to know the answers to things. Like you've just illustrated, like that's a massive selling point for you as an individual to businesses, hiring managers in this industry as well.
mm,
For them to
yeah,
see that they're like these that will go down these rabbit holes in their own time just because they're curious.
mm,
And it's
yeah,
like that. And again, just coming back to like the job description and then these other things as well. Like it's all these other things that they're keen on. Or yeah, you could argue more important because those are things that you can't really train. These are just natural
yeah,
things that
sure,
people
yeah,
have or they don't.
hmm
So it's like, yeah,
yeah,
it's just demonstrating that in when you're having conversations with people and getting enthusiastic and like I'm getting enthusiastic now just talking about it because I think it's the thing that really moves the needle.
yeah, yeah, and it helps you get to the places where you want to go. Because if you're not curious, then you're just going to stay in the same place, you know, and never progress in anything.
Yeah. What you got on rest of the day?
I was actually in work early this morning. I got a couple of PPMs, like just basic things to get ticked off. My partner's due to give birth like any day now, so I'm just trying
Oh
to get
wow.
everything ticked off so that I can walk away for 2 weeks and then not have any of that fall back on the boys who are covering me. But I'm pretty much in the last 3.5 weeks of my employment now, so 2 weeks of that is going to be paternity leave. So I'm just trying
Okay.
to tick everything off really for the departure. Mm.
Oh, nice, mate. Well, like it's really nice to hear, your progression. You've got something tangible now. And
Mm.
the start of a career in a fantastic industry that can open up these opportunities. There's always progression. Great money as
Yeah.
well, especially when you go self-employed. So it's
hmm
I really appreciate you sharing all of this, mate, and actually putting in the fucking work
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get to where you're at now, because most people don't, mate.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
another thing that separates people.
Yeah. And taking that first step was key because it's something that I considered for a long time. And then, of course, it's the financial investment. It's a big step to take. But
Yeah,
when you put your own money down, you automatically then just lock the fuck in, and it's happening now, so let's just go for it and see where it goes. And like I was kind of doubting it in the beginning, like, do I want to take this leap? But then
hmm
I just be doing the same thing in 10 years time, feeling exactly the same. Like, you've just got to think, fuck, just go for it. And it's nerve-wracking for sure, walking away from
yeah,
security in an easy job that, pays really well to the unknown. Like, that's really daunting. But honestly, like, the weight that I felt lift off my shoulders since having that verbal offer has just been immense. And now I feel like I've unlocked the next level of drive and discipline to just really put a lot, everything that I've got into it. And I think providing that I've got the support from them in the first sort of 3 to 6 months, like,
yeah.
I'm going to succeed. It's just a matter of time. But I just hope that they're patient with me in the beginning because there is a lot to learn.
Yeah, and I think like be patient with yourself as well. That was the thing with Mo because I've kept in contact with him over the last couple of
Mm,
years. It's like I mean, he wanted to move really quickly. It's like, mate, just
yeah.
chill, just absorb this stuff. He did move quickly anyway, but like, give yourself a bit of leeway because it is all
Mm.
new and like it does take a while to learn this stuff to then level up to the next or move up to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And I kind of realized that when I got sent the Honeywell University training, because a lot of it now is talking about networking, and that's something that I've yet to consider at all. And I'm kind of working my way through that, and I'm like, okay, there's a whole new layer that I just hadn't considered on this journey, and that's quite daunting. So that, yeah, I'm just trying to be patient and take it day by day. Um,
Yeah, I think the networking stuff for you with where you're at the moment, like you shouldn't. I mean, obviously don't take my word for it. They might need you specifically to focus on that, but I think
mm,
that's more commissioning level stuff and being able to diagnose whether, like for you, like on the networking side, like as long as the cable infrastructure is in check and you know how to check that, like you don't need. I
mm,
wouldn't have said you need to understand how to design networks like IP ranges, all um the different protocols like um, BACnet and what are the other ones? Um,
Modbus. Well,
yeah,
with
mod
Trend, it has been talking about BACnet, and well, all of the
Modbus
stuff which
BACnet.
they
Yeah,
sent
that's it.
me,
Yeah,
yeah, all of the stuff that they sent me is all kind of about the controllers at the minute.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
a
So
lot to take.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it is, mate. But I wouldn't worry too much about the networking stuff yet. Obviously, there's higher priorities, with what you're doing.
Mm.
But yeah, mate. Like, so you're going to be starting in a few weeks then.
Yeah, start date is the 8th of June. So it's, yeah,
Amazing.
approaching fast. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to be shadowing somebody in the beginning from a different region. I think like the
Okay.
Midlands somewhere. Um, so yeah, I hope they are patient, because I don't want to be seen as somebody who doesn't know fuck all coming into this role. Um, and so yeah, I hope that I'm able to kind of keep my cards close to my chest, and just kind of hope that they are willing to take me on. Just be polite and kind, and hope that I'm able
Yeah,
to learn a lot off of them before I'm kind of left to my own devices.
yeah. You'll be all right, mate. And like from me to you, like. Don't be a stranger. If you've got any questions, just
Mm,
don't hesitate to reach out, mate. Like genuinely, I do mean that. Send us a text, email. Like we can jump on a call like
thanks, man.
this if necessary.
Yeah,
Like we can.
yeah,
That's not a problem, mate. So yeah,
yeah.
don't
I was
feel like
thinking,
you
like,
are on your own.
I don't know whether like you've ever considered it, because I know you've got the academy as well as the specialist course, but I thought it would have been cool to have like a forum for all the people who have actually like graduated the course and landed a position. So then like they've got like as they've walked the walk and they've landed a place and then kind of are able to share like a community then which
Yeah,
everybody can share what they've learned and like the biggest learning curves since
yeah.
since actually getting into the role.
Well, it's funny you should say that, mate. That's a good idea. Like a forum
Mm,
for everyone that's graduated. I mean, I'm pausing things at the moment with the business model, the sales process, and we are changing things. And
mm,
I am thinking about having a community like that where there are people like you that have been through this process that can maybe, help other people, give them confidence. So it's not just always coming from me. Like have people like yourself, Mo, Callum, Ashley, like
mm,
people like that in this community. So you're all in there as individuals as well that have been there and got there, but you're also potentially helping other people come through as well, or at least offer some guidance and advice. So I'm thinking
mm.
about that, but it's just a thought at the moment. But yeah, it's a good idea, mate.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be cool.
Well, good luck with the birth, and obviously I hope
Thanks,
everything
mate.
goes well. And yeah, yeah. How many kids have you got at the moment, or is this the first?
No, it's my second. So I've got a four and a
Okay.
half year old as well. So I kind of know what
Okay.
I'm in for, and I think
Yeah,
that's the daunting thing because like I'm going back to
yeah.
square
Yeah.
one. Like we
Yeah.
can sleep at night at the minute, and I know what's ahead for the next sort of 2 years. On top of everything else, there's a lot going on cognitively. It's going to be challenging, but yeah, I'm all for it. There's nothing
What a mate. Well,
better.
we
I
got
mean, you're a dad as well, right? It's brilliant and it's
yeah.
so rewarding. So
Yeah, we got a 2 year old, so it's like we're in proper in the trenches at the moment. And we're thinking, how long do we leave it until we perhaps try and have another? And I actually think well, we've both kind of come to the agreement probably around the 4 year, 3, 4 year mark, to get
yeah,
through this phase. But then, like you just said, you're like, oh,
yeah,
bugger, we're back to square one. We got to go through all of it again. But
yeah.
it's worth
I
it.
would like we were hoping that the age gap wouldn't be as big. But you never know the way that things play out and what
Mm.
difficulties you might come into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I would just take that into consideration as well,
Right.
because like it could take a couple of years, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you've got a
yeah,
6, 7 year gap, and you're like, "Holy
yeah.
shit, here you go, buckle up."
Yeah, yeah, and you've got used to things being chilled for even longer
Mm,
then. But no, that's a really
yeah,
good point, mate.
but
You can't predict
four's
these things.
4 is a great age gap. Like, he's an angel, and he's really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be a great older brother. But it would have been nice to have the age gap a little bit, smaller. But it is what it is.
Do you know if it's a girl or boy or you surprised?
I'm having a boy. Yeah, two boys.
Oh, okay, two boys.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, mate. Well,
So
yeah. Wish
crazy.
you and the family all the best with that. And yeah, I
Thanks,
genuinely
mate.
mean it, mate. Like, if you do need anything, just send me a text, reach out. We can jump on a Zoom call whenever. If you're really
Okay.
struggling with technical stuff or you just want some
Mm,
guidance, just let me know, mate.
appreciate that. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, mate.
All right, mate. Well, appreciate you taking the time here, and like you smashed it, mate. And yeah, testament to you and your character. So I wish you all the best, mate, and fair play to you.
Thank you. Thanks, mate. Thank you for everything. And
All
the
right, mate.
same to Jackson as well, and Jen. Yeah, they've been great too. So pass on my
I'll,
my appreciation for them too as well.
I will do, mate. And thanks for sharing that. They appreciate hearing that. So thanks, mate.
Cool. Cheers. All the best. Bye,
Have a
mate.
good day. Bye, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.